Welcome to the OAPN podcast with your host, Adarsh Sakare. No bullshit, no cuts. 100% raw conversations with 0% fucks to give. We don't encourage the consumption of alcohol, but if you want to open up a cold one while you watch this, it's not a bad idea.
Welcome to episode number 100 of the podcast on a personal note with Adarsh Sakare. It's been quite a ride for us. I think there was definitely a goal of coming all the way here because the goal is much bigger than 100 episodes. But here we are with your support, celebrating 100 episodes, 100 interviews. Of course, this one's special, not just for me, but for the whole of the OAPN team. And again, thank you so much for supporting. Thank you so much for always recommending people to come on here and share their stories. And being transparent with us about how you like it. Today is definitely a celebration. Today, yet again, I think this is a milestone episode for us. So it's definitely a special one. Before I speak a little more, let's say hi to Mohandas Sir. Hello, sir.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm fine. Congratulations on your 100 episodes. Glad to be here for the 100th.
Thank you.
Big honor.
Thank you for making it here. And so ideally we had Siddharth Pai on here on the 10th episode, and I think it came in like a perfect story to have Mohandas Sir here on the 100. It is something we've been wanting to do for a long time, and usually we have seen Sir in interviews talk about numbers, talk about growth, talk about economy, political views. I just wanted a relaxed chat with him about maybe his school days and college days and how things were, and maybe touch upon topics that he hasn't spoken on camera for a while. So tune in while we shoot this episode, and hope you enjoy. Yes, sir. How's life going today?
Well, life is great.
Yeah.
If you are past 60, your life becomes better and better for every single day.
Sure.
When you're very young, it seems that time never ends.
Okay.
So when you're past 60, past 50, every day becomes very, very important. So life is great.
Okay. Have you always found it easy to be happy?
Yes.
Or
happiness is a state of mind, and happiness is being contented with yourself. Now, contentment can mean many things. One is material contentment. Other is contentment because you think you're doing something useful in your life and you have good friends.
Sure.
So as far as material contentment was concerned, I have a very simple life. I don't want to buy the most expensive shoe, the most expensive car, go for the most expensive holiday, live in the biggest house. I frankly don't care what others do. So I'm home everywhere. So in a roadside shop or in a great restaurant or in a top hotel or walking on the streets. I walk on the streets. Just the other day, I wear a piece of, I wear a piece of shoes, whatever you call it. I got it stitched after 40 years.
Oh,
remember when I was growing up, you wear those slippers. Something happens, you go to the neighboring cobbler on the street and get it stitched and wear it. And there was a tear, so I got it stitched. But I had to run around to find somebody who could do that. It was amazing. Because nowadays, everybody, when you got some tear, you throw out the shoe.
Sure.
So we are all brought up to be frugal because we didn't have much more. It's a very different world when we are growing up. But the attitude is also to be very frugal.
Sure.
I'm very open about helping other people. I do a lot of philanthropic work because I want to do it. To me, that is more important than buying a luxury car or going in the biggest car in town. So, it's a very different background.
Sure. I was thinking of what to wear on this episode. Initially, my family said, you got to suit up, right? I said, in what I've seen in some of your interviews and even now, you're in a kurta, right? There is this inclination to keep it simple and keep it Indian. Now, is this something lately caught up, or is this something?
Yes, it is something that I did after I left Infosys, because at Infosys, you work with Western clients. They come and visit you. When you go overseas, you have to wear a suit. You had to have a tie.
Sure.
And we had 2 tie days
You had 2 tie days?
Tie day. 2 days we had to wear a tie. I didn't like it, but we had to do it. Originally, it was 1 tie day till somebody decided to change it. And I think they gave it up after some time because people resisted. You see, if you go to the Reserve Bank of India and go to their old boardrooms, I see old photographs of Reserve Bank Board of Directors. Immediately after independence, many of them wore their traditional business dresses, their kurta, their cap on the head, and their the white top, etc. And they were successful businessmen.
Yeah.
I think it's only in the early 60s and the mid 60s that India became a failed nation economically.
Okay.
We were not growing when the world was growing, and people felt that we have to ape the West and wear a suit. I find it very funny that people want to wear a suit, a dark suit in a climate which is 36 degrees to 40 degrees, 45 degrees. It goes to 47 degrees in Delhi in the summer. But they all want to wear a suit, and they feel that wearing a suit makes them very modern, very Western. I mean, I don't think so. What matters is how you carry yourself and what you do. In fact, when I went to the US after I left Infosys, I went for Pranav's graduation at Stanford. I wore a kurta and I went. And I wear what I
Did
like.
you get a lot of eyes looking at you?
I don't know, but I was very comfortable. What matters is I'm comfortable. I'm Indian. I'll wear an Indian dress wherever I go. We have to be proud of the dresses that we have traditionally because our dresses are suited to a climate. Every dress is suited to a climate. Now, why do people wear those black suits? Because when you stay in a very cold climate, you have to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Why do you wear a tie? Wear a tie, necktie, primarily because you want to tighten the collar so the air doesn't go inside your body. So you wear something to tighten the collar, originally the piece of cloth, then it became a tie. All right? So, it is topical to people. People do that. We don't have to ape everything. We have to be what we are and we have to be comfortable. Yes, you got to be neatly dressed.
Sure.
I think that's very important. Dresses have to be clean, they shouldn't stink. All that is very nice. But then you be what you are.
Yeah. Thank you. So on this interview, you might see me going from one topic to another, and they might have no relation there. And I hope you're.
I'm fine with anything.
Yeah, I hope you're fine with that. Thank you. As a 10-year-old boy, let's say, what was success according to you, and has it stuck on?
As a 10-year-old boy, we had no notion of success or failure except coming first in class.
Say 16.
Even 16. Please remember, it's a very simple world then. There was nothing happening.
Sure.
Okay? I mean, Bangalore is a very small place. I'm talking about the early 70s. Bangalore is a very simple place. We used to cycle. We used to walk to the theaters. A morning show was 3.5 rupees. Okay? Entertainment was going to the theater and having a morning show or afternoon matinee, playing in cricket in the streets, going to the library. And that's it. We came home by 7 o'clock and, read our books or whatever it is and went to sleep. So the expectations were very low. Life was very slow.
Sure.
And for us, accomplishment, happiness was being first in class because that's what our parents wanted us to do. My mother was a school teacher. She worked very hard to send us to school. And that's the kind of expectation. And, that's it.
Sure. I did see that in one of your interviews, you mentioned that your mother had this deep inclination of you doing very well in academics, which I understand. So it's one thing for our parents to wish that for us, but it's the other for us to be internally driven, right? So what is it that internally drove you? Was it just the love for knowledge, or was it?
No, you see, what drove me at that point of time was the love to read.
Okay.
Because the mother had a library card in a government library, where they're the only place where there were books. So I used to go there every Saturday, almost the full day, stay there and read 2 or 3 books, and any kind of book. Science, literature, story books, picture books, anything, just read. And we were very curious, sit down there and read. And then go play in the evening. And at home, we used to get a couple of newspapers and read it cover to cover. I grew up on the Hindu. I stopped it about 15, 12 years ago because it's become very leftist. I don't like it now. It was very centrist then.
Okay.
Then, of course, Indian Express or the Deccan Roll used to come and we used to read that. And we are very aware of what is happening around the world at that point of time based on whatever we could get. There's a radio. There was no television. So we used to listen to the commentary. Binaka Geet Mala was a treat on a Sunday. So you can imagine what life was, right?
Life was very different.
And expectations were very low. The stress was very low.
Sure.
Expectations were very low. We never bothered about the future. We took one day at a time.
You did spend your time at Joseph's.
Yeah.
You went to the Indian high school and then you went to St. Joseph's College of Commerce. I went to St. Joseph's College of Commerce, but then, of course, it's a very different time and Siddharth was my senior. But if we compare what me and Siddharth saw versus maybe what you saw during college, how different was it? And that's one. And what was your best memory of spending time at St. Joseph's College of Commerce?
Well, I went to St. Joseph Indian High School. My father took me there and admitted me to class 7. It was a big school. It had its own ground and, 5-6 sections, 60 boys in the section. And it was a very different experience from where I grew up. I studied in a neighboring school, Vishwa Kalaniketan, just down the street from where I stayed. Small school, like a small house with small classrooms. From there, I went to the school where the boys coming from all boys school. And there used to be cricket and we used to go watch the big boys play cricket. Roger Bini used to play then.
Yes.
So in the Indian high school, the ground was there, the hockey team was there. And I used to have 15 paisa as pocket money. My father used to drop me in his car when I went to office. And 15 paisa per day. We used to go eat ganna, sugar cane and walk back home. We used to go walk back home. I'd possibly run all the way to City Corporation to catch a bus. The school left at 3:55. 4:05 we were in the bus stand.
Wow.
So we used to catch the bus and go. And the BTS used to run, Bangalore Transport Service. Or we used to go to Kabam Park. And sometimes we used to throw stones at the fruits in the Kabam Park and they used to chase us. so, that was the height of expectations and pleasure.
Wow.
And then, of course, Commerce College was very different.
Okay.
After 10th class, we went to Commerce College. Commerce College was in Brigade Road.
Mm-hmm.
The old St. Louis boarding house.
Sure.
Where you have the college now.
Yes.
It's the old boarding house that time. And we had Father Menezes.
Mm-hmm.
Father Menezes was very stern, and when we walked, he looked as if God has come in his own cassock with that white beard and the regal look, faraway look in his eyes. He was a great guy, wonderful man, very warm-hearted, spoke in a very measured tone, very compassionate. Then we had Father Walter D'Souza there too. It was very good. So, and we when we went there, we got dragged. Because we are in first PUC. Yeah. We in first PUC, the boys were all there.
You personally remember getting dragged?
Yeah. We got dragged. Asked to come and get something. We are small boys growing up, Guaki. You are 16. You don't know what the world is, a different world. And of course, we had some of my classmates, we used to be together. And we were in class PUC first year.
Yeah.
Right. And that was some experience. And of course, afternoon, we used to walk up and down Brigade Road.
Uh-huh.
And Brigade Road was the height of an exciting place.
Sure.
Where there's a cantonment. Okay. So we were all boys from the city area. Mm-hmm. I was from Nehru Nagar. That's in between Majestic and Malleshwaram. So we used to go walking up and down, go to Quality or go to the place where we used to eat sandwiches next to Rex.
Got it.
Mm-hmm. That supermarket was there. We used to go there and eat sandwiches.
Lovely.
And Rex movie theater. We used to go to movie theater, walk up and down MG Road.
Sure.
And MG Road had 2 discos then. Blue Fox and Princess. Okay. Princess was in the beginning of Brigade Road. And Blue Fox was where the Shingar shopping mall is now.
Yeah.
So we used to go there. So finished class 10, class 11, that's PUC 12, that is PUC 2. I couldn't finish PUC 1 because I fell sick.
Oh.
I had herpes and mumps and chickenpox all at once. So I finished 2 papers.
Okay.
And then I had to carry over and go to the second year. I would have lost 1 year if I had not been cured. It's terrible. It is very stressful that time. It was a very terrible thing that happened. Mm-hmm. Of course, we finished that, then went to college. And college, we had 9 boys of the 11 in the college cricket team.
Oh.
It's in my batch. So
nice.
Under the first time, Kushi Dunwala was the captain. Jimmy Uncle Seria was senior then. Sure. And we won the inter-college cricket tournament.
Wow.
So we had all this. And of course, there were girls. First time we saw girls in college.
In college.
First meeting. First meeting. There were girls, all kind of girls sitting down there. And there were 20 of them and 80 boys. And all the boys used to fight.
How did that go for you? Going from all boys?
Well, I was very shy at that point of time, but I guess we got along because, we used to bunk class, go for morning shows and matinees and go together. It is okay. It's a nice
I
experience.
read somewhere you had a SD.
Yeah.
Is that real?
Yeah, I had an SD.
It's so difficult for me to imagine
Yeah.
that you used to enjoy your SD.
Of course. I mean,
Yeah.
my mother gave a check of 7,900 rupees to buy that
Okay.
SD.
That's lovely.
It's called MER 107.
Okay.
I think it's in my brother's house even today.
Oh, is
MER
it?
107.
Oh,
It's not a
that's
Java, it was the SD.
Okay. Lovely.
And I got it from that Feroz Bunk where near St. Mark's Road, down St. Mark's Road, next to Airlines Hotel.
Got it.
I remember I took it, then went home, it stopped somewhere, then I had to push it back. I went with my friend. So it's exciting, and full tank was some 55 rupees.
At the time.
13 and a half liters, so 3.5 rupees a liter, or 3.5 or 4 rupees a liter, something was there. Before the oil, after the oil shocks, out of the first oil shock. So we used to sometimes fill a full tank and go off with some of the girls to Banagata National Park, just drive. So, and we had a very nice arrangement in college. We were bright boys. We had Professor Iyengar and Ashwath Narayan Rao, Govind Rao, etc., the great teachers. And we told them that, look, your class are boring. They said, if it's boring, don't come to class. We'll give you attendance. Don't disturb anybody. So we used to go sit on the lawns outside at the back. The buildings were not there. There were lawns. We used to sit on the sides there. The girls were there. We used to chat and we used to go out for tea to Kanti's. And we did well. I mean, we got 3 ranks in my class, and I was I got the 3rd rank. And then we had a fete, annual fete.
Yeah.
And then we had a strike in the college in 1970, I think 77 or 78, after the emergency.
Yes.
My classmate Francis Selvaraj was the secretary. Then we had a strike. We shut down the college because we had a student strike for something.
And you were active in protest.
Yeah, I mean active, and we marched on the streets and we shut down. And then Father Rebelo was principal. He sent for my father. My father came there. He saw us standing outside because they're all shutting. and we were rebels.
That's lovely.
And then we fought for revaluation.
Yeah.
Because I had got some 55 marks in my accounting where I thought I should get 85, 90. So there
you
was
fought
a
for it.
gentleman called Venkatraman in Kumara Park West.
Sure.
He was working in one of the public sector units, and his nephew or somebody had the same problem. So we used to go to the house. We had a campaign. We went and met the VC. We had a big strike. We marched on the streets. We started a campaign. That's how we got revaluation done. So we were rebels in college,
Yeah.
and we finished. We got ranks. We played cricket. We went and cheered our hockey team when they won. When they played. And I remember in Indian high school, when I was there in class 10, we beat the boys' high school, European high school.
Yes.
They were
That's a
called
big deal.
Europeans. Big deal. They were the champions. We beat them for the
That's a
first
big
time.
deal. Yeah. It's nice to hear you share these stories. I definitely understand how simpler things were, and I think this pressure to succeed and the pressure to make bigger decisions, or rather long-term decisions, was much lesser back then, at least during your early 20s. But I'd definitely love to know from you what's one thing that young men and women today who are in the early 20s, what's one thing they're going wrong with in the early 20s? If you had to really point
I
out.
think I don't want to say whether they're going right or wrong.
Sure.
But I would say that life is much more competitive now than earlier.
Okay.
But opportunities are much, much, much better than earlier. Earlier, there were no opportunities. I remember I finished my CA, I got a rank in the inter and final. I had 11 job offers all outside Bangalore. When we set up our own practice, we used to earn 500 rupees a month. Not enough for my ASD.
Sure.
So I had to ask money from my mother, even though I was a qualified CA with a rank, because we are all in practice. People didn't pay us too much money. We did good work. But I would say that there are many more opportunities, much more demand. Life is much more stressful. There are too many people floating around and much more competition.
Yeah.
So people are confused about what they want to do. They don't know what they want to do. They're confused. We had very simple choices. Either you did engineering, or you did medicine, or you did commerce.
That's it.
Medicine was, I didn't like medicine for whatever reason. Engineering, I said it may not be my cup of tea. So I said I'll do my commerce and I will do CA. So I got pushed into it. So it was a very simple decision.
And academically, it had respect, right?
Yeah, I don't know whether it respect or not respect. Never crossed our mind. It's just a choice that you made and you floated along. You never thought about the future.
Sure.
Life was very simple. Needs were few. And, you completed And you started to practice, worked with a few people, and things grew. So today, before you start, there's competition. You hear about great success.
Yeah.
You hear about so many people doing so many things. They're confused. So I would say that one, you require self-motivation.
Yeah.
You have to be motivated to do well and to succeed and to be the best. I had that ambition to be the best in whatever I did.
Okay.
Cricket, I used to practice a lot. Not that I was the best, but I did come someplace. Others are better. And in studies, I was pretty good. And then in communicating and going for quizzes and debate, I was a quizzer. Siddharth is much better. He's brighter than me. He's done very well. But those days, quizzes are simpler. So we used to go. So I think they have to be self-motivated and they have to have perseverance. Don't give up. Go the course. Because it takes time to succeed. And today, what is success? Success is defined in a very different way of maybe having a lot of money, having all the necessity, all the luxuries of life, etc. In our time, success was very simple. You got a nice job or you had some little bit of income, you were comfortable, you went for a matinee show.
That was success.
And once in a while, you went to Continental on Brigade Road and had Chinese food. That's all. That's success for us.
Yeah, I mean, definitely success has become more materialistic now.
And nothing wrong. You see,
nothing wrong, yeah.
Nothing wrong. We should not pass judgment on what it is, except it's very competitive. And I think people have to understand how to succeed in a very competitive world. It takes more time, and to shine, it takes that much more effort.
Does stress come to you easy?
Yeah. I mean, see, stress comes for various different reasons. Stress comes because you like things to be perfect. For example, today morning, I was in Delhi in the hotel and my car came. I went to the airport, Terminal 1 of Delhi. I use, electronic, that Digiyatra worked well. I mean, every time I go to an airport, I don't like standing in front of somebody who looks at a ticket, looks at your face, looks at a ticket, sees the lines there and takes ID, compares the lines because they can't read. I think they can't read. Either they can do it faster. Then go inside, they make you wait and waste your time. And then you go inside, you have a boarding pass, that's fine. So you don't have to go to stand in the queue. The queues are terrible. Then you go where you have to check in luggage. Yeah. I mean, that guy sitting down there looking at the screen is not pressing the button. And they ask everybody put on a tray. People have got 3 trays, 4 trays. And you have to wait. And you go through that checking. And then you go to the side, the damn thing doesn't come. Yeah. And you have to wait. That guy is not bothered. He's sitting looking around and doing things. He doesn't care. Then, people come, then people stand there. I don't like that thing. You should work properly.
So that gave you some stress this morning?
Yeah, that was stressful.
So losing time is stressful for you?
Not losing time, seeing these inefficiencies and this lack of concern for users.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of being a very feudal country.
I think the angle I also wanted to address...
And go into Indigo. The onboarding is terrible. Onboarding is terrible. You walk there and onboarding is crowded.
Indigo is not going to like this.
No, you see, Indigo flies to most places. They mostly run on time. But, the onboarding is very mechanical. There's no human activity in that. As if they're doing we're all widgets. We treat it like commodity. That's the nature of the beast. They're very successful.
Got it. I think the angle of stress that I was coming out from is this need to succeed.
No, that's a different living stress.
Did it ever come into you?
It came to me once or twice because I used to run a company. I'm not getting paid very well.
Okay.
Because the money was not there. So sometimes I felt that I was not doing well because I'm married. I had 2 young boys. We didn't have much money.
Sure.
So sometimes I felt stressed. But it is something that you try to internalize. And of course, after you went to Infosys and started working, there was a stressful moment because we had to achieve a lot. The time was not adequate and we had to run around and we had to do everything in time and we had to be the best. And there was a certain of stress and there was exhilaration. We are very excited, exhilarated because we achieved so much and we had public adulation.
Yeah.
So we are in the public eye. So that's a different kind of stress. But I think stress is a part of a very active, very fast moving world.
Sure. You feel you've managed it right?
Well, I managed it to the best of. I have no regrets.
You have no regrets?
Oh yeah, I've been very successful. Mm-hmm. I'm very happy what I've done. I've achieved a lot. I set standards. That's most important. And many people respect me. Yeah. And I've always been independent. I spoke my mind. I've been a rebel.
Yeah.
I never bowed before anybody or accepted any bullshit because somebody spoke to me, and it's a great company to stay because we could always talk back to Murthy. That's very important because I worked in a family business before that, running a leasing company, and there they treated me well, except when it came to some crisis, they called me a naukar. I mean, it was shocking. I was a professional, one of the best in CA field in India, and one family member who's semi-educated say, "Mohan, tu naukar hai, kyun baat karta hai?"
Oh wow!
I mean,
Which year was this?
I didn't understand what is this naukar business. It didn't strike me because you're not called a naukar. Nothing wrong in being called a naukar, but you don't call a professional who's heading a company as your naukar. When you are semi-educated, you are nothing except you carry a family's name. So that was humiliating. That was really humiliating because there's no respect.
So how did you treat that?
Well, it hurt me a bit, and I kept quiet. And after some time, I left because I said there's no point working with family. That's why people those days, family enterprises were like that. The Malik and the Naukar. I'm the Malik, you're the Naukar.
You're the Naukar.
That's what is wrong with these people because they are very feudal. Many of them don't pay the taxes, they cheat, they do all kind of stuff, and they live like feudal lords. They buy people.
Yeah.
Like, for example, one of them used to tell me, "Mohan, जब कोई बात करता है और मुंह खोलता है, एक बिस्किट फेंको." Or the kind of attitude they had to people who were in charge of government and all that. So, it is a very strange world that time. Now that world is diminishing because today, as industry becomes much more competitive, you have to compete. You need the best-in-class people, and people have got more opportunities. They'll walk with their feet. So you can't treat them shabbily. You got to treat them with respect.
With respect.
And for us, in the middle class, respect is the most important thing in life.
More than money.
Yeah.
When was the tipping point in your life where you felt, yes, I'm financially stable now. I don't need to worry about this. I know this will grow. But that part of stress saying, hey, you know what, financially, I think I'm good. Let me focus on growth than survival. When did the part of survival and money?
That never happened to me.
Okay.
Because whatever money we got, we lived within that. Because we didn't have an excessive expectations of what to do. So that was not a problem in my life at least.
Okay.
Sometimes you felt you had no money because very less money. There was no savings. And that was painful, but you got over it very fast because the thrill of working, the thrill of doing things was very high. And even in Infosys, we had the stock option scheme. We came into money, so money was always there because we succeeded. But that was not a problem. Not that we are paid very well in Infosys, because for long we are not paid very high salaries for various reasons. So that was not there, but the work was exciting and you did a lot and you set standard. That was very good. But to me, the tipping point for me came when I thought I wanted my life back. You see, that was sometime in 2010.
Okay.
I'd worked in Infosys from 94. 7-hour days, 12 hours, 7 days a week used to work, 12 hours a day, travel, everything. And then, you did a lot, achieved a lot, the company grew. And then you started thinking, is it going to be more of the same? And you wanted a life back because you saw your boys growing up, you're not spending time with them. Mm-hmm. So 2010...
You wanted more family time?
No, I wanted more freedom. I wanted just to be free to do what I want. In fact, they asked me in the media, what are you going to do if you leave Infosys? And it was a shock. The day they announced my stepping down, the stock fell 10%. So I guess that's my value.
Seriously?
Yeah.
This is data?
Yeah.
This is amazing. This is amazing.
I was the best CFO in India at that point of time.
Yes.
I was on TV every quarter and everything.
Yeah.
So we had done a lot. So the stock fell because they're shocked. They said they never knew, even though it was in the work for some time. But then I stepped down because I wanted to spend time. They asked me, what are you going to do? I said 1/3 with family, 1/3 for society, and 1/3 I will be on some boards or something. But none of it worked.
None of it worked. Okay, we'll get to that in a bit. So I like how you spoke about money where things were sorted and...
See, money is important. We should always have enough. You should never be in need. But you should be careful that consumption doesn't override your life. You have to be contented and retain simplicity and frugality, then you're happy. In that case, you have decent money, you're happy. You have more money, you're happy. Because to me, the power of money is the power to give away when you got more. The power of money is the power to give away. The power of money is not to buy more things and live in a bigger house and go to a fanciest restaurant and eat whatever, food with a sprinkling of gold on it or whatever it is that people do. That is not what life to me is. I'm talking personally. I make no judgment on others.
No.
The power of money, if you have a lot of it, is to give away and to make life better for others, because you realize if you're successful, sometimes you ask the question, why is it that you have been successful when many others, your classmates and others, have not been so successful? Then you realize that yes, they're all bright, we're all bright together. You got some break, there was some luck, something happened to you, it could not have happened, and you took the break and you did well. And if you believe that you're born to the manner and you deserve all the breaks that you got, you're living in cuckoo land. Because that is the beginning of the end. When you believe that you're entitled to succeed, you're entitled. The world doesn't care for anybody.
Yeah,
I keep telling people the sun will rise in the morning, set in the evening. Whether you're around or not, it doesn't matter. That's what brings humility. Maybe the greatest cricketer, greatest businessman, the richest man in the world. But remember,
doesn't care.
Sun rises in the morning and sets in the evening. Whether you are there or not, nothing matters. So you need to have a sense of proportion and reorganize your life to be happy. And relationships are important. And then relationship, bringing up your children well, so they too have a good sense of values. And all of us have to find contentment. Contentment is being happy with yourself. Contentment is being happy with what you have. You could have less, you could have more, it is fine. But be happy with what it has. You need some bare minimum. So that's a mental attitude all of us have to cultivate. I think it's very important for you to cultivate. Because like the Americans say, the pursuit of happiness is the end of life. You want to be happy. And what is happiness? Happiness is not wanting something. It's like falling in love, okay? When you fall in love sometimes, and all of us do fall in love, I hope. It's a very, it's a very unbelievable experience. There's a longing for that person, and you always imagine being with the person, and you miss that person, and you dream of that person. So it is a very possessive thing. So like that, if you become possessive of money and possessive of something else, it captures you. You become a victim. Excessive love is also becoming a victim to somebody else. And that distorts your life. So I think the key is retaining contentment. Because you see, all happy marriages happen because people adjust to each other. Okay? You fall in love and you get married and all. The romance doesn't last forever. The drudgeries of life, the day-to-day activities of life pulls you down. And how do you retain relationship? Because you adjust to each other. Everybody gets angry once in a while, and you get over it, and you don't break off things, and you manage and hope for a better day, and you adjust and live together. And that, I think, is, that's part of the whole thing.
I like how you touched upon contentment and family, and I have one more question for that. But before that, I want to touch on this last piece on money, right? You've met a lot of wealthy people in your life. You will currently have friends, business colleagues who are wealthier than you.
Much wealthier.
Yeah. How does Mohandas Pai feel when everyone in the room is wealthier than him? Because see, for us, for a common man, you have a lot of wealth. I really want to know from your perspective that if you are in a room filled with men wealthier than you, how are you looking at it and what are you feeling about it?
I've always been in rooms many times with people who got much, much more wealth than me. What I lack, and which I tell my two boys they should not lack, is a desire to be extremely well off in monetary terms. I somehow lack that. That has not been my focus in my life at all. If I had focused on making money, I want to be this, I would have had much, much more money. All my wealth
Are you
is
saying being smart with money? Because I don't want them to get
smart.
it wrong saying...
No, not about wrong. I mean, look, the choice is between a profession and choice is between business and doing well. In business, if you work very hard and you do well, you'll make money for yourself. The choice of having a big stake in your own company and the stock of working in a company which is a public listed company where everybody else makes money but you, because the stock price goes up like in Infosys, right? So my only wealth came because I had some stock options from Infosys, and that's the source of my wealth and a little bit of investment. And it's not that I long for more stock options. I should have, maybe I would have got much more money, but it didn't happen. But the attitude was not there, and that's what I did.
To do what?
Attitude to acquire more wealth. That focus.
Personally, not as an organization.
No, the organization was to do better and better and better.
Yeah.
But personally, there was attitude not there. There's a lacuna in my life.
Sure.
Because you're always measured by success. Because like I said, today I feel that if I had much more wealth, I could have done much more for society. I want to run a very large scholarship scheme. I want to give every young bright kid a scholarship. I want to have a DBT program to give to poor people so they don't suffer, so that they get the necessities of life. I want to give endowments to universities. I want to create chairs, but I don't have the money. And I see others who got the money, who create philanthropies, who create corpuses and sit on it and don't spend the money. And I get upset about it, because if you're a philanthropist and you build a corpus, you've got to spend the money to alleviate misery today. There's misery today. And you build a corpus, you get a yield of 5-6%, and you spend that money, you're never going to alleviate misery. I read that article about a lady in America whose husband died after 72 years of marriage, who bequeathed her $1 billion of Berkshire Hathaway shares. She took it to a medical college and gave it to them and said, from now on, no fees for medicine for medical students. Just imagine, next 20 years, doctors will come out not having to pay $250,000, $300,000 of fees and take the loans to pay that. They'll be free of the burden. They'll get free education. Just see how their attitude is. So to me, those things are important. That's what. So I wish I'd been more money-minded. And if I had more money, I would have done all that. I would have endowed many more universities, many more scholarships. I would have done all that. Now it's very limited. I still give away more than I earn for the last 15 years. I sell my assets to give away every year. I do it because I want to do it. I love my country. I want people to do well. I believe we must create a society where every young child can dream, and we must create conditions for the child to realize the dream. And I think nobody should live in want. And I think those are important things for me. And for me, wealth is a means to achieve all that in a very significant way. Yes, I've been in rooms with much more wealthy people. I've not felt inadequate. I've not felt small. I've not felt anything. But if I don't win the argument with them, if I don't push an idea and be recognized as a thought leader, that would be devastating. So
because
that is important.
For you, that's success.
That is success. That is success.
Yeah.
And recently in an interview, I made a statement because I think Murthy was one of the most brilliant people I met. He's a brilliant man, absolutely brilliant. And the one good thing about him is he'll stick to his ground and never give up if you have an argument with him.
Sure.
Whereas others will give up and just turn away, because they don't want to argue too much beyond a point. But with him, whenever I felt bored, I used to go to his room, pick up some argument and fight with him and go on arguing, then spend half an hour and go back satisfied. But that was very exciting. But was that there was more exciting being in a room with rich people talking about wealth and all that? Beyond a point, it got boring. You understand?
Yeah. Family does mean a lot to you.
Look, family is all that you got left at the end of your life. What is left for you? Your parents passed away. My parents have passed away. I lost my mother about nearly 2 years ago. I lost my father in 1994. I lost my younger brother 2 years ago. It was tragic.
Losing your mother must have been rough.
What is that?
Losing your mother?
Mother is a mother, no?
Yeah.
She's 92. She lived a rich life, but mother is a mother.
Mm-hmm.
And the mother always takes care of you. I remember in 1986, I had typhoid.
Okay.
First time I got typhoid. So I was put into St. Martha's Hospital. She used to come and stay with me. Wow. And when you got typhoid, you're very weak.
Yeah.
And she used to bathe me, a grown-up man. Take me to the bathroom and bathe me and take care of me. I was still a child for her.
Yeah.
However big I grew.
Yeah.
Wherever I was.
I think that never changes.
That is the mother. The mothers are very special beings. Now I see my wife with my 2 boys. I see my wife with my grandson, how she treats him and takes care of him. Mothers are mothers, they're wonderful people. So I think, you feel that family is important because family is required. Relationships are important because they're the ones that keep it together. No man is an island. No woman is an island. If you all believe we are individualistic, we are island, I think you're making a mistake. Because the greatest curse for humanity is loneliness. Not having somebody around you. not having a human being in the house, not having somebody who cares for you or you care for them. So those are, for you, it is not important. You're young. Okay.
No,
You
I
are-
think my mom will disagree.
no, but no,
She's
I mean,
been-
you are younger, and for you,
Yeah.
you have a lot of friends. You want to
Yeah,
travel.
yeah.
You want to do everything else. As you grow older,
True.
family is important. You want to keep them together, and you should never have a family fight. If you have a family fight, you should always compromise and keep the relationship growing. And if some wealth in the family that has to be shared, share it well. Don't try to grab more, because keeping the good relationship is much more important than keeping
the
more
wealth.
of the wealth. Because when you leave, you're not going to take the wealth with you. Right?
So every man must be married, according to you, sir.
Look, I have come today to understand more and more about our Hindu traditions.
Okay, I like.
Because in our traditions, you are a balak, you're born, you stay in the house, my parents take care of you, then you are sent off to the guru's house to learn, you're a brahmachari, right? And you stay there and you learn and you come and visit your parents, and then you become a grahastha, you marry, and you have a relationship, then hopefully you have children, and you see the children growing up, then you have a responsibility of taking care of them. You take care of them, nourish them, make them grow up, and you get older, then you get them married and you have grandchildren, and you play with the grandchildren, because you don't have time to play with your own children. I never played with my two boys. I didn't spend too much time. I never had time and never thought it's important to break up from what I do and spend time with them. Now I spend a lot of time with my two grandchildren,
Okay.
and I love it. I got unbelievable patience with them. They can turn me around the little finger and get what they want. So I'm amazed at myself how I respond. So that's a part of life. See, life is a series of experiences. Remember when Shankaracharya had an argument with Madana Mitra, I think, he defeated the male, and his wife came and argued with him, and she asked him about a Grahastha's life. And then he took a break and he went somewhere, and there was a king who was died just then. He went and did voluntary meditation. His soul went to the king's life. He lived the life of a Grahastha for 1 year, then came back and answered the questions. Now, life is a series of experiences. See, what is life? It is experiences.
Yeah.
As a child, as a young person, as a teenager, as a young man, woman in a profession, working, then the family person, and then giving that up. It's all an experience, right?
Yeah.
And an experience. And that's what it is. It's a rich experience. We live in a wonderful world. Nature is so beautiful. There's so many things to see, so many things to eat, so many things to just relax, have a cup of tea and do nothing. And then that experience, at the end of it, when you are much older, you look back and said, have I been through all that experiences, or has it been a very monotonous life? If you got varied experiences, I don't mean varied relationships with people. That could also be an experience. But then you've been through all that. What does it mean? It means that you had a very rich life. You had a very rich life because you know the end. There's only one end for everybody. That end can't go. You can't change that end. Even Nachiketa could not change the end when Yama came for him. So I think you see, there's all a function of you're growing up, going through different phases of life. But I would tell everybody, you must get married. And you must go through the experience of marriage. You understand how to live with each other. You must have children. Children are important. They carry your name. And hopefully, when you get older, you realize that you are one more in a long list of people who have come before your forefathers and your grandmothers and everybody. They sacrificed, did everything to bring you up. So you pass the baton on. No, can you end the line? You can. But is the right thing to do? No. In our tradition, you do the tithi, right?
Yeah.
In the tithi, you do that homage to your forefathers. They deserve it. Now, whether that's necessary, unnecessary, I don't want to debate that. It's something that you do, and there's an expectation because they have sacrificed for you, you are succeeding them. The name is important. So it goes on, and there's no harm in being part of it and doing it. You can be a rebel and stop all that and say, Alap Niranjan, and do what you want. That's fine. That's okay. That's okay. Is that for everybody? No. So you go through the experience. I would recommend you go through the experience. You must fall in love. Because falling in love is an unbelievable experience. Only when you fall in love and there are some heartbreaks, you understand what
So
it
you
means.
had a heartbreak, I'm guessing.
Yeah, we've been through all that.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, no, the reason I asked you about marriage is because I think there are two types of men, one who decide to get married and one who don't, and the ones who don't, I don't know. Does it really end up in a wholesome life? That's what.
Yeah, you become lonely.
Yeah.
You see, life is all about. See, we are social creatures.
Yeah.
By nature. Nature has made us to be social creatures. Even most animals are social creatures except the tiger. Tiger is a lonely creature. Others are social creatures. The lion is the head of the family, keeps the pride together and has his harem. So we're all social creatures, and being social creatures, this is a part of being together. And getting married is a good experience, and you're together, you adjust to other people, you understand how it is to live with another person all your life. Your spouse also understands that, whether male or female or whatever it is. And that's a nice experience. You could do without that experience. That is fine.
Yeah.
But I think in the overall context, is an important part of growing up and going through life.
Ensuring.
But marriage is difficult.
Okay, he's giving a caution.
No, because you see, many years ago, many decades ago, the male was dominant.
The male was dominant.
Yeah,
Okay.
the male in society was dominant. Women were more docile for whatever reason. That is the structure of society. So it's easier because you are never questioned. Now both are equal, both are well educated, both
Which
question
is good
each
or
other.
bad?
It's very good. That's the way society has to go, because there should be no discrimination on the basis of gender. Gender is not a choice you make. You're born with a gender. You don't make the choice. So there should be no discrimination. As a parent, you must not discriminate between your daughter and your son. Both are important to you. Both should get equal attention. You should not discriminate. You can be slightly fonder of somebody. That's very natural. You'll be slightly fonder of the elder boy or the younger boy or the younger girl or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But you should not discriminate, and you should give them what they want in terms of their opportunities and all that. But I think the important thing is that when there are two very well accomplished, educated people, both have strong views. Earlier you had one view and everybody listened.
Yeah.
So you are like the tyrant of the house.
Yeah.
But now you're no longer the tyrant. You're no longer the king too. You may be a victim. You may be a person who is dominated, and maybe you let the domination stay because you want peace.
Yes.
So in a relationship like that, you must always buy peace and never take an argument too far, and adjust and make sure that each one's dream is met. I mean, your spouse too has a dream, wants to do something, you want to do something. So you got to adjust to each other, and it's good to adjust. I think is important now. And you should never break it off. And even when you have problems, you always have problems. There will be problems because, emotions are strong. Then you must talk it out or work it out or let time hurt. You hurt each other.
But
in a marriage. But don't go to your point when it breaks up. Don't never break it off. Of course, there are some abusive marriages. There's no hope. That's very rare.
Yeah.
But you can always make good, and you have to show love and affection and compassion and respect. So it has to be a place of mutual respect. This is all a part of how you live together in a civilized world.
Yeah.
In a very feudal world, might is right. And it is like being an alpha male.
Yeah.
Where you dominate because of your strength. And the day your strength ends, you're gone. Remember, in nature, you have a dominant lion who has a pride, who fights, keeps away all the young lions wanting to take over. For a period of time, the young lions are on the periphery. One day they get together and attack you. And if you have a moment of weakness, you're gone. They tear you apart and you're gone. And they take over the pride. That's not what civilization is. That was what was before civilization became more dominant.
Yep.
In the age of violence, where you always had war, you beat each other up, took something from others. That's not the era we live in today. And for that, I think you have to adjust and live together. And with everybody. When you go to office, there'll always be disagreements. There'll always be dissonance. It's not that it's going to be one way. If it's one way, you're not working in a good group. So your children will not listen to you.
Sure.
You have to let them have their say, because you want them to be independent later, not try to dominate too much. So life is a series of compromises.
Got it.
You don't compromise the values.
On the ways of living, I'd also want to ask you, are you someone who prays a lot? Does prayer make sense to you?
I don't pray like people pray every day.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit indifferent. I do go to temples once in a while, and I have the arti and all that.
Okay.
And whenever I've been in a crisis, and there've been some crisis, I always prayed. I remember
So you do believe there's fate?
I don't know. You see, I'm a very logical person.
Yeah, because I definitely want to understand this.
I'm
view
a
of
very
yours.
logical person. I remember my father was in hospital. He was in coma, then not going well. And, one day I called up my doctor and asked him honestly, is there any hope? He said no. Then I cried. I was crying, I was shaken up because he said it's gone. Then my friend called me up and I started sobbing on the phone because he hit me very badly because the hope was gone. And I had to let go. So I think you come across such dilemmas. And my brother passed away. I had a call from my sister crying that he's gone. It was so shocking. And my mother passed away. So, these events hit you because they're very close to you. They make they're part of everything. Your father passed away. So the loss of a dear one is always traumatic for everybody. And I think there's the time when you pray and give you hope. But I think believing in a God is important for everybody to give you hope. Now, is there a God? There is no proof there's a God. Is there somebody above, a personal God who's going to bless you, do everything? No. There's no proof of that. If you're logical, you can never find that. Is there a God who created you? No God created you. It's all evolution. You've been around millions of years. Planet has been there. All that is science and is proven and is all there. But you need something to sustain you. So you believe in some power which will give you strength, and you pray to that power to give you strength, and that gives you strength to get over your emotional need at that point of time, and possibly make you accept reality. Make you accept reality. And then you need that to strengthen yourself, to give you some kind of a courage. It's like being at the end of your life. It's going to happen to all of us. And then what do? I mean, one time, I guess, you just give up and pray and said, thank you very much, I'm gone. And that's it. That's it, we're gone. And you no longer exist, right? So somebody called God is important to you. Whoever that God is. You could believe in any God, whatever it is. But that God should not lead to exclusion, should not lead to violence. No God is superior to some other's God.
Yeah.
But that is all rubbish. Total rubbish. There's no proof any God is superior to any other God and others. And most human conflict happen because they say, my God is superior to your God, my God is the only God. And all that I believe is wrong. Because it's very personal to you. But you need a God, yes. Do you need a holy man? Yes. Do you need somebody to counsel you? Yes. Because you go meet people that talk to you and you feel comfortable, you feel relaxed, and your stresses go away and you feel okay. And I think you need it more and more as you grow older. Because as you grow older, your ability to believe that you're going to succeed in everything comes down. Because the energy,
start losing hope.
no, not hope. Energy levels come down.
Yeah.
See, energy levels come down. Earlier, when you're younger, you have got enormous amount of energy.
Yeah.
You always fight the battle and you keep fighting. It's like that old song. Havina Rosha, Hannedu Varasha, Nanna Rosha, Nuru Varasha. Vishnuvardhan, remember?
Lovely. I think
remember?
Chirag remembers.
Yeah, remember that. No, that is the Rosha of a young man, a young woman. That is there at a particular age. As you grow older, the Rosha goes away.
Okay.
Because the body doesn't react and you accept that. And then you become helpless.
Sure.
Earlier you want to fight, you want to go do something, but here you feel helpless because you accept that you're helpless.
Yeah. Is there a certain spiritual guru or a thought leader that you subscribe
I have
to?
no spiritual guru, but I like Sri. When I meet him, I go visit him. I like Sadhguru. I visited him. I like our...
What do you like about these men? What do you think they have?
You see, Sri has given happiness and contentment to millions of people by his talk and what he does for people. You must respect him. Sadhguru has explained to people, people find sustenance and happiness in listening to him. So I think it's important. It doesn't matter what others think or you think, but it's important. A lot of people follow them. And then Shankaracharyas, I met some of them in Sringeri and Kanchi. And when I sit down with them and meet them and talk to them, I feel very good. I mean, I never went there before till I passed 60.
Cool.
And then our own Swamijis of our mats, I'm a Konkani. I'm a Gauda Saraswat.
Is it?
Yeah, so our own Swamijis are there, the Kashi Matta. I met him only after I'm 60. I spent some time. I feel good about it because they've been there. They're part of a long tradition. And they're there for you. They're there to sustain you. They're there to give you strength. They're there to give you peace. They're there to let you find contentment. So it's all part of an ecosystem. A society has created people who are highly evolved who who try to answer the most fundamental questions human beings have. The reason for your existence. Why do you exist? What the reason for your existence? It hits you sometime when you begin to ask the question, and these people give you answers. So, it is part of being what you are.
And you enjoyed these meetings?
Yeah, I enjoy these meetings. I enjoy these meetings, and I find it very satisfying, very fruitful. And if somebody criticizes them, I get very upset and bash them up. You can only do it on Twitter, but
Definitely, I'm not going to get into any of your political views because I.
You can. Doesn't matter. What is it?
Sure.
What is that?
Yeah, we can if you want to, but one of the things I want to ask you is how you dealt with any backlash that has come through. Whatever you expressing your political opinions and the.
You see, I realized one important thing.
Okay.
I moved with leaders of all political parties.
Okay.
I met all of them in my tenure at Infosys all across the country. We have been very transaction oriented. We have spoken about development, jobs and all that. They respect that. I contributed to all political parties. I have decent relationship with everybody. I don't hate anybody.
Sure.
I have some small preferences.
Are you not forced to pick a side?
No, I have some preferences on certain things. And my view is very clear. When I go to vote, I'll vote for the person who I believe is best for my city, my state, my country. That's my personal belief. Do you have any ideology? Yes. I'm socially liberal, economically conservative. Socially liberal.
Yes.
Economically conservative. No political party meets my ideological needs.
Yeah.
Because some are socially liberal, some are
yes.
Economically profligate. Others are economically conservative, maybe socially conservative. So it's okay because it takes money to live. I talk to
So in a way, you're on the center.
I'm a centrist. I talk to many people. Yeah. We grew up as leftists because we believe that we can make a better world by distributing other people's money.
The influence was.
No, it's just growing up. Please remember, when you're growing up, you're young, you find successful people, you're not successful, you begin to ask, why am I not successful? Then you say that, he's got money. How did he get money? People tell you, he got money by this and that. Why did you get money? Oh, that's very wrong. Society, you take the money, give it to everybody. Why? They're all very logical questions. And socialism and communism has perfect answers, except it doesn't work. It doesn't work because we are a grouping of individuals, and every individual is very different. Right? Some succeed, some don't succeed. You can't make the successful pay for the unsuccessful. That's very wrong. And when you succeed, you understand what that means too. Because you're willing to pay your taxes, but you don't want to pay too much of taxes. And I've been a very high taxpayer for 40 years. And have I got value for my tax? No. But am I happy with paying my tax? Yes. Because I realize the society is a compromise. So I move with all of them, and I praise them. When they come to government, I respect the mandate. Doesn't matter which party in power. Then I work with them. And when they do good work, I praise them. When they don't do good work, I'm critical. I'm critical of an issue, very rarely of the person. Very rarely. Sometimes, yes, when the person behaves very badly. But I'm critical of issues. So I get along with everybody. I know this thing. I get along with everybody. People call me all kind of names. And that's okay because they don't understand. I'm not here to educate them. I don't care a damn what many of them think because it's not relevant to me.
Sure.
I'm not there to get their attention or their consent for anything. I don't want to that. But I think it's important to be politically involved, to work with everybody and to respect the mandate of the people. I'm not one who will say, if this person comes to power, I will leave this country and go. That's pure rubbish. It's your country, man. You sit down and fight. Fight for a better country. And work with these people to make the country better, society better. You need politicians. See, people abuse politicians. They don't understand why politics is required. Democracy is a system of competitive lobbies. Everybody is a lobby. You're a lobby, I'm a lobby. I could be the farmers' lobby, I could be the religious lobby, I could be a caste lobby, I could be a teacher's lobby, industrial lobby. All of us want something. So we go to political and say, we want this. There's a limited amount to be done for everybody. Because politicians have to decide what is in the best interest of everybody. Because they want to come to power. And they want to come to power, you need people to vote for you. So you got to cater to your constituency. So politicians' role is to give little bit to everybody to keep hope going. They also know everybody cannot get what they want. We also know that we can't get what we want, but we want more and others will get less because there's only limited things to give. So I think it's important to work with politicians to understand that and try to do the best and have a little bit more patience. Sometimes you're impatient and you abuse them in public. I mean, I remember I went and met a very, very, very senior politician who was the former prime minister of the country. I asked him, sir, why do you give tickets to crooks, contractors, thugs for contest on a party? Then he told me in Kannada, ಏನಯ್ಯ ನೀನ್ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡ್ತೀಯಾ ನೀನ್ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ ನನ್ನ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಓಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಓಡಿಸೋಕೆ ಯಾರು ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅವ್ರು ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ನಾನು ಸೀಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ನೀನು ಎಲ್ಲ ನೀನು ದಿನಾಗ್ಲೂ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಬೈತೀಯಾ ಮೀಡಿಯಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀಯಾ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತೀಯಾ ನೀನೇನು ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡ್ತೀಯಾ ನಮ್ಮ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಓಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ I think the logical means because the biggest failure of a democracy is we don't give money for political parties. I tell everybody, go give the political party of a choice some money. It can be 1 rupee, 5 rupee, 10 rupees because democracy is expensive. Getting votes is expensive. That's why the electoral bond decision of the Supreme Court is very wrong. Because it solved one problem. Accounted money came into the political system. Accounted money came into the political system. Otherwise, dirty money is to come. Dirty people is to come. It got cleansed because when clean money comes, the political party can give tickets to clean, good people. So accounted money came. And then the problem was when accounted money has to come, people are very scared that the name should not be released because vindictiveness. The Supreme Court will not protect you if somebody is vindictive. Well, how can they protect you? They don't understand. They shouldn't have given the decision. They should have said, maybe the name should be given to the election commission and kept in a sealed cover, something like that, because there's an intermediary step to a US system where people are proud to give money and they don't care because there's no vindictiveness. So the vindictiveness is the real fear in this country because the feudal elements are still strong. And now you're thrown the baby with the bathwater and it's a mess. They shouldn't have done it. But I give him a check. One of them abused me.
They abused you even after you gave the check.
No, one of them wrote to me and said, Mohan, how are you? You are a Sanghi and you are to become a Bhakt, etc., etc. You must remember your freedom of expression is the result of Nehruvian things. What Nehru did for you. I told him, dear so-and-so, thank you for your mail. You are, let me tell you, I'm nobody's bucks. You look into your record, I've given your party a big check too. Personally, my name is there. I'm one of the biggest donors. But I said, you are a family retainer, you are a bootlicker, you are a court jester, and you eat crumbs off the high table. And that is what you are doing every day. I'm not like you. Please understand who you are and stop pointing fingers at me. So I wrote back to him and maybe I still got the email. It's a very, he's still a friend. He's still a friend. But people have this attitude. It is okay. See, we must give money to all political parties. Some party you may give more because that is the crux of the problem.
It's nice to see your opinion on some of the say corruption, if I may use that word. So there's clean money and there's dirty money. Was there ever dirty money offered to you for whatever reason?
No.
And how do you put that away?
No, I never had black money. I never had accounted money. Everything that I earned is by check and is accounted and I pay my taxes. I'm very happy.
No, but for favors, I'm saying.
No, I never did favors to anybody. I maybe made grants to charities by check, but I never did favors like that. And I never had to pay a bribe. People did ask sometime. I said, no, we can't pay the bribe. Then they said, why don't you come and do some charitable work? We said, yes, we'll do that. And so I think one former chief minister called me and said, I'm sending some recommendations. Why don't you give them a job? I told him that, look, we'll have a test. And if you pass the test, we'll get a job. They said, okay, that's okay. But if other leader sent you something and I hear you are giving him a job, I'll be very upset. I said, no, that'll never happen. So these things happen. And you have to get through it. And I think it's important to show respect to them.
Sure.
Dirty money is is something that we should clean up in society.
Yeah.
Because I am against paying bribes to anybody for anything. I'm okay to make contribution to political parties for better policy, which helps everybody. I've been to Government of India for many things in Infosys and told them, we must change this policy, this is not good. Then they said, no, this policy for you will change the policy, but not for others. Others will misuse. I said, no, don't do any favors to us. Do it for everybody. Well, let's make the environment better for everybody.
Sure.
But many people have gone and got, to policy change for themselves. They got custom duty enhanced or reduced, did all kind of stuff. That's been a part of every government except the Modi government. Modi government, I have not seen that happen. So I think that's been cronyism has been a fact of life because of their funding problem. When Gandhi ran the Congress, he told everybody to give money. So money came from the masses. Even though some industry came and gave money, he was not. He didn't change his views because they gave money. So I think it's important that we clean up politics first.
Sure.
So I think for that, money is important to come, and the electoral bond is a good move.
Yeah.
It's not a perfect solution. It's an intermediary solution. But now they've done away with it, and I think it's going to make things worse.
Sure. If you had to describe our current Prime Minister in a sentence, what do you think?
Look, I would say Narendra Modi is the best Prime Minister India has ever had.
Wow.
And it's a very strong statement I'm making. I'll say it again and again in public, and I'll say it for a very important reason. The biggest challenge for India has been the deprivation and poverty of the Indian people. Every government since independence always wanted to help poor people and remove poverty. All of them had good policies, but they're not able to execute those policies. Nehru could not do it. He was a grand old imperialist who stayed in Delhi with intellectual arrogance and thought he could write policy, things will change. Indira could not do it. She's a very insecure person, very strong. She wanted to abolish poverty, could not do it because she could not execute on the ground. She became very corrupt later. And then we had the Janta regime. They couldn't do it. Rajiv Gandhi could not do it. He hardly knew how to execute things. And then we had Vajpayee who did something, but it was not there long enough. We had Manmohan Singh, who was another policy man who thought that you could write policies and issue them, things will work. It didn't work. Narendra Modi is the only Prime Minister who has made good policies, ensured that executed in ground and benefited people. Modi has made sure that almost every Indian has a roof over the head, water in the tap, power in the switch, toilet in the house, a gas stove, a bank account, money in the bank, a mobile phone, a internet connection, food on the table, education for children, and health insurance. And once all Indians get that, they're very different people because they're not fighting for survival. We are the land of Bhagwan Sri Ram. This country has enough for everybody throughout our history. There should be no poverty, no want. People should have the necessities of life. And it's up to the government democracy to make sure everybody has it. And he has made sure it has it. That is something unbelievable today. Today, absolute poverty has come down to 2% or 3%. It's remarkable. We have built very good infrastructure all over the country. Roads have been built, ports have been built, airports have been built, trains are going faster. We got respect globally for what we are. We stood up to all the people who used to bully us. We stood up to Pakistan and showed Pakistan its place. We are always trying to buy peace with the terrorist country. We stood up to China and said we are prepared to defend our borders. And we stood up to the US pressure on Russian oil, right? And then within this country, cronyism is gone. Natural resources are being given out on auctions, right? We have a GST with one tax for the whole country. So all the bribing there is gone. Income tax has been reformed, even though there is still tax terrorism. There is a problem with all the regulatory agencies creating fear in industry like the ED and others. There's a problem that has to be solved. Our justice system is broken. We're not getting justice in its time. There's a problem to solve. But overall, much better than what it is. And it's tackled the most difficult problems India has. And to me, that's important.
So, Achhe Din is an actual promise.
Yes. It's actually been achieved on the ground. You got to go out and talk to people. You got to travel out to the country and see the people. And they will tell you. They got houses. They got gas stove. They got power. They got toilets. They got water. They got everything else. Now, is it 100%? No. It's 90, 95%, 100% in some areas. But we are past the stage when people were deprived. A lot of jobs are being created because of high growth. 1.6 crore people join the EPFO every year. The 25 lakh people get jobs because of the auto industry every year. So all the things are there. We write about it. The data is there. People don't want to believe that. People still want to give away giveaways. Like Siddaramaiah is giving away 52,000 crores. He's very proud that 1 crore families get 50 to 55,000 rupees
So it wasn't
a year.
a good decision.
But look, I'm all for giving poor people.
Okay.
But don't give others that money. Instead of that, spend it on higher education, spend it on better infrastructure, spend it on getting investors here, creating job which is long-term sustainable. Do all that. Because this is the tax-paid money of everybody. We pay tax, the poor pay tax, everybody pays tax. You can't take tax, and the people who paid high amount of tax are smaller, and the people who don't pay tax, you're taking money from them, giving it to somebody else. And what are you trying to do? It's not your father's money. It's not your money. It's not your father's money. It's taxpayers' money. You are a trustee of the money. Are you putting it for good use? Yes. People who are really poor, give them. Will you believe 70% of Kannadigas are poor in the state? Yeah. 1.17 crore women are getting the 2,000 rupees. We have got population of 6.7 crores. 3.3 crores assume 50% are women. Okay, the young girls below the age of 20 could be 1 crore. Okay, that's 2.3 crores. Out of 2.3 crores, 50% are getting 2,000. 50% poor to get 2,000 rupees. Give it to 10%, 20%, give it to senior citizen, that's fine. Don't give it to everybody. 200 is a power for everybody. I mean, middle class people in Bangalore are all getting that free power. They should not take it.
Yeah.
It's very wrong.
You're wasting resources that...
No, give it for education. See, education budget has been cut and not enhanced. Education is very poor in North Karnataka, barring a few colleges. You give them better education. That's the greatest gift society can give a young person is a good education.
Yeah.
And you don't want to invest in higher education, don't want to invest in universities, don't want to invest in building good infrastructure, improving the quality of life, then what are you trying to do? We have no water in Bangalore.
Yeah.
Our wastewater is not being treated properly, even though spend money. So where is the thought on that? People should get a decent quality of life. We don't have enough roads in Bangalore. Metro is 3 years behind. We have to settle all that. Bangalore pays 60% of Karnataka's taxes. What do we get in return? 60%.
60%?
Yes. Bangalore pays 60% of Karnataka's taxes. Without Bangalore, the rest of the state is poor. So, what do we get in return? Nothing, because they're politically not large. We don't have the number of members in assembly. And this is not the way to grow, because Siddaramaiah is very good earlier. He ran the good state. Now, this year, the revenue deficit is 27,000 crores. That means he's borrowing money to give subsidies. And our borrowing is gone to 1 lakh crore.
Wow.
1 lakh crore. On the 1 lakh crore borrowing, you have to pay 7,000 crores, 7,500 crores interest every year. So what are you? So you are taking money from the future, from our children, and giving it to people here. Is okay.
Keep your seat.
You keep your seat. Yeah. And you are doing social justice. I mean, how can you say that statement?
Wow.
Anyway.
So we'll spend 10 more minutes with you if you don't mind. I just have a few more questions before we close this. And one of those questions was this, right? Is there a book that you want to be writing? No? You don't?
I have no interest in writing books. I will write on matters of economics and others which catch my fancy as article, but I have no passion to write a book.
Okay. The next one. Let's try and culminate 5 rules for a happy life, right? So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have only 5, not less, not more. What are 5 rules that you would say, follow these and this is a happy life? Let's go.
Well, first be self-motivated.
Okay, be self-motivated.
So you set your goals for yourself. Okay. You don't let others set the goals. You're not motivated by an extra increment or extra car or extra promotion, so that you work for yourself.
Good.
And second, invest in yourself more and more to become more skillful, to do things better and better, become much more productive, become tech savvy. And the third, make sure that you are contented and don't increase your wants, limit your wants. Live a simple, frugal life as much as possible. Enjoy yourself, travel, do whatever you want, but don't aim for doing things much beyond what you have, because that will consume you. And the next thing is build networks of friends and family, invest in them, and spend time with them. And the last thing is be very clear when you want to walk off things and do something different. So you should be very clear. You should not become a victim of wanting to do something, continuous doing something which may no longer enjoy because you have needs for it. So you must be very careful that at some points in the time, some points in your life, you may want to change, you may want to walk off and do something interesting, and do it because you have only one life, and live your life to the full. Sure. Do things that you enjoy the most.
Sure.
So I think that having the ability to walk off and do something differently is something that you must always keep in mind.
Lovely, thank you. So the next question, I need 3 pointers, not 5 this time, but maybe 3 things about India that you truly believe will be true in 20 years' time. It can be numbers, it can be facts, it can be just a description, but tell me three things that you do strongly feel that this will come true for the country in the next 20 years.
Well, I think Rama Rajya will come true for this country. When I say Rama Rajya, it means a country which is ruled by Dharma.
Okay.
And Dharma means doing the right thing for everybody. So Rama Rajya is a country where there is rule of law, there is justice for everybody, the strong don't dominate the weak, and everybody gets good opportunities, and the basic needs of everybody is met. That will happen in India the next 15
In the
20
next 20 years?
Yes.
You
definitely.
believe it?
Of course, I believe
Okay.
it. I've seen it happen before my eyes the last 30 years.
Okay.
That is one thing. And second, India will be globally respected for what it is. India is one of the two oldest living civilizations. We don't get the respect we do around the world. Our scriptures are sometimes abused. We are abused sometimes because people don't understand what we are. Because we are the only civilization which could explain to people the reason for our existence. The reason for our existence is to realize yourself. Understand who you are, realize yourself, and find contentment your own way. That's the reason for existence. We don't believe somebody's got a superior magic and everything else. That's our civilization. Thus, we have been cruelly exploited. We have been abused. We have been impoverished, and all that is going away. So the world will begin to respect us and have our civilization life. I think that will happen. And the third, I believe every young Indian will be very proud and happy about his country. Because, I grew up at a time when there was deep poverty. People used to run away to America or somewhere because they felt they had no future. The more and more young people are staying back. They want to build this country, and they will build this country. And it is their country. They're going to live here because they're citizens of this country, and they're wanted in this country, and they should believe in this country. And I think there's reason for them to believe in the future of this country. If some people want to go, it's fine. You can go anywhere you want. No regrets. There's nothing like a brain drain or a brain gain. It's okay. No, you live one life, you can go anywhere you want. Nobody should say, why did you go and all that. But I believe that we'll create a country where every young Indian will be proud, will want to stay and build the country and realize the dream.
Is there another country you like living in?
No.
Just spending some time.
Oh, spending some time for a holiday, you go to Paris, is like going back 2 centuries. You go to America, you see wealth in
What
New
have you
York.
enjoyed? Let me ask you like that.
Well, I enjoy the experience of going to Paris, walking on the streets.
You like Paris?
I like going to London, walking on the street. I like walking. A city should be walking and vibrant. That's what I miss about my Bangalore today. Footpaths are gone, too many vehicles, city is vibrant, you can't walk around. It's a beautiful walking city. Mumbai Old Fort area is beautiful to walk, but it's very dirty and others. So I like to go to cities where you can walk around and it's clean and neat. You have nice restaurants. You can sit by the roadside, have a coffee or a tea and just look at people walking and go to museums and do many things. That's a great city. So I like doing it, but I still want to come back home and live in my own country.
In your own country. And I don't need a number, but what's the most expensive thing that you own, you think?
I don't own a house. I don't own a car.
You don't own a house?
No, my wife owns it.
What are you saying?
I live with my wife's house.
Why though? You don't want to buy more homes?
I got enough homes, but
What?
my children own the homes. My wife own the homes. I don't own a home. So
You don't want to buy like a beach house in Miami or
no.
something?
I thought about buying a farmhouse and all that till my wife said, who's going to maintain it? And she knows I'm not going to maintain it. So we decided that we'll all go and stay somewhere and pay for it and have a holiday. That's much better. And that is great. But I don't own a house. I don't own a car. My wife owns a car.
Okay.
I travel in her car.
You don't fancy cars?
No.
No?
I got a small X-Cross.
Wow.
I didn't know the name of the car. I know it's the Maruti car till my grandson said that's X-Cross.
You don't want like a
X-Cross.
Rolls Royce?
No.
It'll look nice.
For what? No. I don't have a watch. I don't have any jewelry. I had a watch. I got my father's watch, 50 years old. Kept it at home because I inherited from my father. But, I don't have a watch.
So this is conscious. These decisions have been conscious.
Well, I don't feel a need for it. I'm happy with something that I need, which is utilitarian. But I don't feel a need to show off something, say, I got a Benz, I got this. I don't feel a need at all. I go with my friends' cars. My colleague has got a plane of his own, personal plane. I go in his plane. I'm happy. It's a nice ride to go. But if I'm not invited there, I go in Indigo and go through all that mess and I'm okay. No, because you see, are those important things for you? Well, there's some of them, like a car is a necessity. You need a car to go around. You have a driver who's been very loyal. You have a house, decent house to stay. Belongs to your wife, but it's okay. She's letting you stay there, and you got money in the bank. That's okay.
That's good.
Enough in the bank, so you're happy. You can pay your credit cards for whatever it is. You want to go to a restaurant for a meal, you don't have to think twice to go.
Sure.
But do I want to go buy this, buy that, buy this? No, I don't have the urge for buying.
Any vices? Drink?
No, I don't
smoke?
drink. Even though now I think once in a while I have a cocktail. I go to Goa, I drink Feni, the local food, just for this thing. I love good food.
And these things were never, were they never attractive to
No,
you?
I never smoked, never put a cigarette to my lips, and my friends smoked. I went to them, I never smoked, never drank. They used to drink, I used to be there, never drank.
You didn't feel the need to?
I wanted to be a role model for my two boys.
Okay.
That was in the back of mind somewhat. Not to drink too much and this and that. They should not think that drinking is a necessity. Now they don't think they're grown up. I don't think they think that drinking is a necessity. So I'm very happy because they should not consume you or even smoking. They don't smoke. I'm very happy. And they got good, decent houses to stay. They got a nice car, not a very expensive car. So I'm okay. And I think that's it. But to me, buying books is important. I buy books
You have
in the hope of reading them. I can't read all of them. I got maybe 10, 12,000. My wife is threatening to buy a new house to keep the books. So, I buy
You
books.
have 10, 12,000 books. Where's the space?
I don't know. She has. I got some in my house and some in some other house which we won where I've not been there. She said she's taken it away there. I give away to people who come to my office. I like an author. I buy 100, 200 copies, distribute to people. So that's it. What else?
What is that? Do you take vacations?
Yeah, I take more vacations now because my wife, I travel with my wife a little bit.
Wow.
And we are trying to visit the South Indian big temples, never been there.
Okay.
We have been to all the beaches, we've been to some 60 countries.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of countries.
Yeah, in the business, you go there and sometime vacation, you go there. And do I have urge to go and run abroad every? No. And do I have an urge to travel? I lost my urge to travel.
You lost your urge to travel?
Yeah.
Wow.
In 1999, I think I did 185 trips. And I felt very ill.
185 trips.
Yeah.
Who's sending you on these trips?
No, because as president of IMA, I should travel. Then government used to call me. I should go
Oh,
for
like
seminars,
all work?
address everything. I
Work
did.
travel took you
Not work. I didn't work that time. I left Infosys, but
Okay.
people used to call me, lecture, this, that, meetings, all kind of mess.
So this
Then
was across the world.
2000, I said I'll reduce it all around the world. I did 135 flights till 11th of March 2000 with some 11 or 15 more to come. Then COVID came. Next year I must have done 1 or 2 flights. Now maybe I do 20, 30 a year. Up and down.
Wow, you've really cut it down.
Yeah, I don't want to travel. When people call me for meetings, I say I'll do video others. I don't want to be an organization. I don't want to be associated with many enterprises. I don't want to do all that. I want to live in Bangalore and come to my office. I got a beautiful office. And people come and meet me. I go down for lunch sometime. Then evening, I go to the club nearby. My wife brings my grandson. I play with him and go home. And I'm very happy. So I think you have to find contentment yourself. I'm shutting out much of the outside world. I'm very active mentally. I write articles. I read. I can talk on most subjects of the world more than anybody and give good numbers and all the data that I got. I can do all that. But that ambition to show off, that ambition to be everywhere, all that is gone.
It's reduced.
Yeah, reduce. You've got to find your own happiness, no?
Yeah.
In fact, I remember when I stepped down as CFO, Murthy did not accept me stepping down. He wanted me. Then he told me, you are on TV, you're very popular, everybody wants to talk to you, everybody wants to meet you. If you're not CFO, it'll all stop. Are you okay? Without blinking a list, I said, I'm perfectly okay. And it happened. The day I stepped down, Bala took over and nobody came and met me. And I was okay. Nobody invited me for conferences, this and that. I was okay. I didn't feel the loss of it because I said one part of life is over, another part starts, and that is it. And life is all about tomorrow, right? Yesterday is gone. You long for yesterday, long for adulation which you got. Then what is the point? That consumes you. You must not be owned by any of those kind of things. Then you're not free. You got to be a free soul. So I think, you got to be a free soul. And the only way to be a free soul is to understand yourself, limit yourself. Not limit yourself in terms of reading, knowledge, and all that. That should be limitless. Curiosity should be limitless. You should be curious to understand why things happen, why don't things happen. But if you are eager for recognition, eager for everything, I don't like being recognized. I feel embarrassed when people come and tell me, "Sir, can I, shake your hand?" And I feel very embarrassed. So I don't like people coming and doing podcasts with me and asking my views.
Wow.
I do it very rarely.
I saw it coming.
I saw it. I know. I keep pushing it off. And,
Took you.
But
no, thank you.
I do it for some people like Arnab, who calls me once in a while. Some TV journalists or old friends. I got a lot of journalists who call me once in a while, ask for my views. I do it willingly, not so much. I don't like to go on TV every day and argue with people. That doesn't give me a kick anymore.
Sure.
And I'm happy meeting people and everything else. And I think you find your own happiness at different stages of your life. For example, people told me you must go to Rajya Sabha and you must get it. And some political parties sounded me out. Do you want to? I said, no, I don't want to go. They said, you must fight politics. You're a good political leader. I said, I don't have the qualities to be a politician. Because to be a politician, you need 5 qualities. You must be devious because, you got to checkmate opponents. Second, you need a hunger for power because, it takes a long time. No hunger for power. Third, you must love people. I'm an introvert. I don't like to move with people all the time. I want my own space. Fourth, you got to be a good communicator. I'm a good communicator. 5, you need perseverance. I got perseverance in the right
So you got 2 out of 5 according to you.
Yeah, so I'm not fit for that. And I always think others should do it. And I'll help them in whatever way I can. So I think, life is about discovering yourself. And you discover different facets of yourself at different stages of your life. When you're much younger, you're consumed by wanting to do more, achieve more, get recognition, and do things, be in the public eye. That's good. That drive and self-motivation should be there. Because you want to realize your potential. You want to show that you are smart and you can do many things. And as you grow older, you get recognition, you get everything else. Some of it wears off. You want peace, you want stability, you want, not excesses. You don't want too much demand on your time. And later, you don't need any of that. All you want is to spend more time with family, whatever is left, to spend time with friends and do nothing and have a nice cup of tea and just gossip and do nothing.
Wow.
So I think it's all a journey, isn't it? It's a beautiful journey.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Life is a many splendid thing.
It is.
And so long as you experience life in all its facets, in all its glory, in all its beauty, you experience life and go through that is very good.
It's then it's a justified.
But if you're consumed by a need for conquest, but consumed by a need to overachieve, it consumes.
Is it right to say it's okay to keep it as a part of your experience?
It should be a part of your life.
We want to conquer.
No.
Right?
It should be a part of your life at a particular stage of your life.
Yeah.
So when you have the king, you have to have that conquest and everything else. When you give up the throne, you have to give it up. I remember I gave a talk about culture and society in IIM once, and I said, the Eastern school of philosophy believes, especially Hinduism, Confucianism, and Buddhism and all that all of us should live in harmony with nature.
Yeah.
We must take from nature what we need for our sustenance and not to destroy nature. And we must believe that we are nature's creation, are creatures like everybody else, and every creature created by nature has the right to existence. So we must not destroy what is there for aggrandizement and for our luxury. And you must not go conquer unnecessarily except for your safety, because you have to live in harmony. And then the ultimate destiny for an individual is self-realization, to understand who you are, what you are. Yeah. Of course, when you're in a materialist society, in an advanced society, all that is important in a very different context. So you've got to achieve everything else, but you've got to have a sustainable life. The Western way is that God made you at the top of the totem pole, and everything else that God made is for your consumption, and you have to go conquer. You have to go convert everybody to your line of thinking, because your God is the only God. So you got to go conquer. It's all for you. Material needs and individual happiness and satisfaction is the end of life, not family and society. And you have to conquer. You have to be the alpha male. Everything is made for you. Go and seek. Go and conquer. Go take it, because God made it for you. And whatever you do, God will forgive you so long as you follow that God. Now, that is the dogma of the Abrahamic schools, and that's what is created conflict, right? So I told them, and I think that philosophy is what keeps India so sustainable, so successful, so very compassionate, and so very long term.
Yeah.
Right?
Beautiful.
I think that's important because because mortality is the only reality of life. I mean, you go there and to Column Park, there's a statue of Queen Victoria. Queen Victoria was the height of the British Empire, the Empress of India, the Queen of England, and everybody killed millions of people in the name, conquered land. Now the crows sit on her head and shit on her. Who cares? Nobody even knows who that is or what it is, right? I mean, great emperors are all gone. Everybody is gone. Alexander is gone. Ashoka is gone. Everybody is gone. All the jihadi killers are gone. Everybody is gone. Who cares? Gandhi is gone. They're all passing through, right?
Yeah.
So to believe that you're going to remain great forever, you're born to the manor, you're born to rule, and that's your birthright, and you believe that life is going to be disappointing, right? So I think even in business, even in life, you got to realize your limitation, try to do your best, be self-motivated, achieve all the things that you want to achieve, set standards, do well, work very hard, go through the phase of life, and then decide what you want to do.
Yeah. And failure is part of it.
Yes, you fail many times because you don't achieve what you set out to achieve. And I've had many failures, and you just take it on the chin and go along.
Just keep walking. Yeah.
Keep walking.
Thank you, sir, for doing this. This was a privilege. This was an honor. Thank you for accommodating this. I'm glad we got to do this. There's, of course, a lot of decisions we still need to make.
You are young, you got to make decisions, you got to live your life to the full, and you must do it. Don't sit back and start becoming a philosopher and saying, this is not for me, and give it up. Don't do that. Whatever dreams you got, work to get that. You should.
Yeah.
Because look,
it's worth the experience.
Look, as you get older, one day you must look back in your life and say, have I realized my potential? Have I done all the things I wanted to do? And if you say yes, then you're happy. If you say, no, I failed here, I didn't do this, that's not a good position to be, right? You understand?
Yeah.
There's a time for everything in everybody's life. And you do that.
Yeah. Glad. Honestly, for us, this is one of those milestones for us because it gives us...
is very good.
Yeah, it's a stamp.
You've shown perseverance.
Yeah.
You've shown... self-motivation to achieve.
It's blood, sweat, and tears.
You've shown curiosity.
Yeah.
And you've shown that you want to broaden the range of people that you want to talk to. I think it's pretty good.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Won't take too much of your time.
Thank you very much.
This is going to be an interview that we'll cherish for the years to come. All the best to you, sir, for all your endeavors that you have planned and how you wish to spend your time. Real respect for everything you've contributed in all the fields you've been involved in. And it's nice. It was also very refreshing to see because one of my deeper questions in my head was, how's he going to, is he going to, hold back? Is he going to be outright open and answer questions? And it was just nice to see how open you were to any question that I, came up with. Very refreshing.
Thank you.
So
good talking to you.
Thank you, sir. This was Mohandas Sir on the 100th episode of the OAPN podcast. We have a long journey to go, and I'm sure you're going to be a part of that. Thank you for watching. Like always, we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.